This is Rita Dairit and this is Buhay Parang Life, where we discuss issues about this thing called life. Thank you, my dear viewers, for tuning into this episode. I invite you to please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook page. Buhay Parang Life is part of FaithWatch TV, and I ask you to download the FaithWatch app on your mobile device. We read and value your comments, so please feel free to write down your comments and suggestions below. I am very blessed to have this guest with me right now. She is actually my classmate in high school, pero naku, ayoko nga sabihin yun kasi pag nakita nyo siya, bakit parang ako na ang teacher niya ngayon? She is right now based in the US. She is a very active member of her parish in Oregon, but back here in Manila before, she was a civil servant for 29 years. And she also worked as an expat for 5 years. Beth Alarilla. Hello, Beth. Welcome to Buhay Parang Life.
Hi, Rita. Thank you for inviting me to this episode of your Buhay Parang Life. I'm very excited when you first asked me to join you. It's been a while since we met.
Kasi syempre,
right?
FB friends tayo, nakikita kita, ang gaganda ng insights mo eh. Kaya work is in the US, so hirap natin magtagpo. Nakikita niyo, viewers, ang aking magka-batch kami, nakakainis sabihin, di ba? Alright. Beth, alam mo kasi, kaya nga kita inimbita, nakikita ko yung mga posting mo, ang gaganda ng insights mo. Saan kagaling yung mga insights mo niyon? Yung mga, meron ka mga posting na about life being messy when you get hurt. May mga personal experience ka ba talaga?
Of course. I'm drawing them from my own personal experience. Kaya lang, instead of, sometimes when I browse through my friends in FB, I'm really turned off when I see them ranting, like shouting out. So for me, when I feel hurt or I want to do the same thing, I would just post something spiritual more than inspiring, rather than, being negative about it.
Oh, okay. That is a good one, Beth, no? So, actually, I also feel that way. Na pag, yung mga rant, at saka yung mga bad words pa.
It's a bad, parang negative di ba?
Very, very inspiring ang mga post mo. But in reality, it is coming from a hurt.
Yeah. My friends were telling me, you know what you make, I think you will make a good motivational speaker because when you talk, you speak from your heart, sabi nila. So I was like, I love counseling too with friends, so maybe it's my one way of testifying my experience and God's presence in me, in my life.
Beth, teacher ka ba?
No, I was
students ka in your FB page or
I'm doing part-time jobs as a teaching assistant sa parish namin kasi it's a Catholic school. So it's like shooting two birds in one stone because it's the school is just close to the church, connected to the church. So I get to spend more time in the church, before I go to school. Parang it's closer to I can spend yes, I attend regular mass, so parang I feel good about it, being in the church and being in the school helping. So I started like volunteering when I first got here. It was really difficult because back home I was used for 34 years working in the corporate world, and then suddenly I'm doing domestic chores, which is really a big adjustment for me.
Right,
so
I
love interacting with people, and when I was still working, that's my forte. So when I was just at home, of course I love being with my grandkids, but I feel like there's something in me that is missing. I feel empty, sometimes I'm not happy at all. I'm happy being with the kids, but the way things are going the whole day, I want to interact more. I will feel like, I need to do this. So at first, I volunteered at my grandkids' school, teaching art literacy. And then
what art literacy?
In the school, I'm creative, but I'm not artist as professional artist.
Turo ka ng art literacy. Sino ang mga estudyante mo?
The same, yeah, like they assign different grades to me,
And
ganon.
these are Americans.
Yeah, different race. I mean,
Different, yeah, but
multicultural. Yeah,
multicultural, but
uh,
basically born and raised in the
yeah,
US.
in the U.S.
You being a new immigrant, how did you insert yourself and share with us some experiences, with children born and raised in the US coming
Yeah,
from
yeah,
a new
yeah.
immigrant?
Yes, I know. At first, it was difficult because in LA, we used to live in my daughter used to live in LA, which is a lot easier because we meet a lot of I have a lot of friends there from the office, and even high school friends are there.
Right.
But when we moved to Oregon, oh, it's a different thing. I don't know anybody here, so I was trying my real best to connect with people, to make
Okay.
friends because I cannot live without being alone. I think
Right.
I love interacting. So I started from there. I started from there doing volunteer work. So every time there's a need for volunteer for vision screening, hearing screening, and all that, I am always there. And also it gives me the chance to be with my grandkids. They are happy when they see me doing this, helping the
In the
school.
school where they study.
Yeah. So after that, I got more involved. I said, I want to do, I was praying. I think I put that in my post in Facebook. I was praying that I would meet a friend who would take me to church every day. Because at back in the Bangko Central, where I worked for 29 years, we have this small altar on our floor. And then I would pass there. And then every lunchtime, I make it a point, not really every day, but I make it a point if I don't have any rush work, I would attend the mass,
Right.
especially on first Wednesdays, first
Yes, yes.
Fridays.
Mga ganon.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I was feeling like, oh, I want to go to church because it's my sanctuary. I mean, it's where I find peace in my heart. So God granted my prayer after maybe 5 years. There's this
Mm-hmm.
friend from New York I met at the school. God really gives you the right path, you know.
If you
He
ask him.
If you ask him, I
Right.
prayed. I want to I hope I will have a friend to bring me to church because I don't drive, Rita. I'm
Ah,
scared.
wow. How are
Yeah,
you?
and you get
Okay.
paralyzed with the situation in US.
I
If you
know
don't
in
drive,
the
you're
US.
paralyzed, right?
Right.
So even in
Kasi medyo
Oregon,
malayo. Malayo yung
yeah,
simbahan from your house. Okay.
like 20 minutes, but 20 minutes in US is like,
It's
yeah,
far.
it's far. So so at that time, yeah, I started being involved in this friend of mine from New York is a retired teacher, and
Mm-hmm.
then she would love to pick me up and bring me back to my house just to
Oh,
be able to hear mass. And then we became friends, and now she's volunteering for the school while I started to work part time because I have a lot of time now since my two beautiful grandkids are growing up fast. I have more time for myself, so I decided I'll do part time here. During the critical points in my life, I really would love talking to friends, and I'm very blessed that I have friends who make time for me to listen, right? But at the same time, I love to read books. I refer to books to get a better and broader perspective. Kasi if you're talking to just one person, di ba, isa lang yun. So
correct.
when I read books, parang every time I have an issue or there's a storm in my life, I find talaga inspirational books for information as well and to get inspiration, to get to feel better, to get a better picture of what's happening and to clear my mind too. So I resort to books.
Okay, you spoke of critical times in your life, storms in your life. Usually, what aspect of your life would you like describe as critical or a storm? Is
For
it
me, since I'm
work,
a
family?
very personal person, I mean, I love friends, I love my family. I get really uh, affected when it's about relationship.
Relationships talaga?
Yeah,
You are yung
relationships.
parang magnetic,
I
di ba,
When
sa
it's about
relationship.
finances, I just pray. and then
All right.
the blessings would come. When it's relationship problems or challenges, or I don't want to call problems as problems, but challenges, like
Challenges.
challenges on relationships, it really affects me a lot, and I get hurt.
All right. So you mentioned about you resort to, of course, talking to friends and
Yes.
reading books. So what
Yeah.
is the book right now top of your mind that you read during a particular storm in your life?
So so I was in the church. I've been going through a lot recently. Maybe it started early this year, and then it's good that my friend was still there, but I cannot get the satisfaction from just talking to her. So I
Oh
was in
yeah.
the church and I was pondering, and then suddenly there was a big a shelf, a long shelf on beside the I mean outside the church, which is
Right.
still part of the church. So I saw this book, Life is Messy. I
Who is
don't
the author?
really, when I read a book, I don't really care about the author. It's just that I usually I get attracted to the title first.
At saka alam mo kasi sa US, no, sa mga simbahan, I do that.
Oh
Ano
yeah, right.
no? And you can just like drop $1, pwede na yun.
Correct. If you want to get a rosary, you just drop
Pwede pa ganun
$1.
dyan. Oo.
There's no tag, price tag.
Yeah.
You just donate, right?
Gawain ko yan eh. I get it.
So I usually browse through the books, but this one I said, "Oh, Life is Messy." It's Matthew Kelly. I didn't know that he's a famous author, but the
Right.
title really attracted me most because I was
Because,
struck by the title because that's how I was feeling then.
all right,
I felt
messy.
that my life was messy at that point in time. I actually read this
Yes, messy.
twice. Yes.
Alam mo,
And then when I was
attractive na ang cover niya ha. Para mga
yeah,
nuts.
yeah,
Para
yeah.
nabuhol-buhol.
It's really messy, no? So I talked to friends about this. I've been reading this book, although I'm not yet done with it when I was talking about it. And then I didn't really know that he was a famous author, inspirational speaker, and all that. So I read this twice, especially after knowing that I'll be, having this interview with you. I wanted to feel the whole thing. I know. So I got some points from the book. I called some in verbatim some of the things that he wrote.
All right.
So here is one thing that I got. So the mess of life is inevitable, unpredictable, and unavoidable. I felt a sense of relief knowing that everyone has its own mess to contend with. Our tendency is to think that we are the only ones with a mess and that our life is messier, more embarrassing, and shameful than others. It describes me, the way I was feeling very vividly. I mean, it's like I am the one writing this.
Okay. Oh.
So at that point in
Feel ka
time, I
parang,
was,
parang
yeah.
ito lang yung may problema. Parang
Sabi ko,
sobrang
I am very
embarrassed.
ashamed.
Ashamed.
Yeah, I feel so embarrassed, especially with my close friends who really know me well
Okay.
since time memorial. So
Oo.
at that time, I felt like but I'm the type of person who don't it's very open, Rita. I don't keep my load to myself.
Oh, so
Yeah,
gusto
I
mo
unload.
i-share mo. Kasi
Yes,
may mga
because
tao,
I know. They get embarrassed, right? And
Correct.
they keep it to themselves. But for me, I think I really want to share because I can get help for one, and
That is
second,
a good view, that in spite of the embarrassment, you
yeah,
still want to talk about it
yes, to get help and
to
also
get
to help.
help.
And also to
Why is
help.
it important to get help? Because a lot of people parang nagmumukmok lang sa isang sulok. Why do you think is it important to get help in spite of the, embarrassment of the situation?
Of course, for me, I really disclose to my friends because if they are really my friends, I mean, they will try to understand me. They will love me for what I am and what's been going on in my life.
Yeah.
So I feel comfortable about that. But on the other side, I also want to share because I want to help other people going through the same thing. Like, it's not unique in me. that this is happening. I've been telling this to my friends. There are a lot of very shameful experiences that happened to me, which I was able to share to my friends. And because of that sharing, I was able to get the help that I needed.
Were you not afraid that you will be judged? Kasi sa ibang tao ayoko, magmumukmok, afraid that they will be judged or condemned.
I think I am more afraid not to be able to unload. Yeah.
Ano ang pakiramdam mo pag na-unload mo na?
Yeah, it feels good. Like there are now more than like one person listening to me, and I'm getting help. Based on my experience, I was able to get through this by sharing, because it helps me feel lighter also when I share. Of course, the first thing that you have to do is lift it up to God and share it with God. But I think, one thing I really I really know deep inside is God sends people in my life at the time when I need Him most. So it's like a representation of Him that listening to me. I'm very physical. I'm a physical person. I love hugging. I love, being close to friends. So I think God knows that, and so He was sending people to be there for me physically.
So back to life is messy.
Okay. So that was one, right? The one thing that I already that struck me, that I am not the only one. It's not unique in me. What I'm going through, it's not unique. So every people experience a mess in their lives. Okay. Next one, Rita, is we are never ready for storms of life. They come at unexpected times and in unexpected forms. There is no plan that you can devise that will solve the mess. There are things in life that we simply need to wait out. But most of the time for us, like for me, I'm an organizer, a planner. It's much easier to do something rather than patiently wait or do nothing. Do you get that? It doesn't happen.
Most of us are like that. We cannot just wait. We feel that, don't you? I think you being an organizer, a planner, and many people are like that. Parang if you're just waiting, parang you feel it's useless. Parang
you're just wasting time.
Wasting time. Parang kailangan productive ka. So how did you even wait out? Or how did you manage the waiting?
Actually, for me, when I have something to deal with, I would try to exhaust all my resources first before sometimes I ask for help. I was like, you have too many concerns already. I will do my job first. Like, the thing that God helps those who help themselves. Right. That's always been in my mind. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll try first and then ask you later for help. But it's wrong. We should already lift up everything to Him, surrender everything. There was a point in my life where I really tried hard. And then suddenly I got tired of it, trying hard. And one day I just was just at the altar saying, it's up to you, God. And I lifted everything to, I cannot do anymore. I'm tired. Do what you want to do. So you know what? It's like after that, after I said that, it's a complete surrender to Him. Everything changed. Everything worked. Something happened, and then it worked. Yeah. Yes, I've been sharing this. Like I just prayed, up to you. I don't know anymore. I'm tired. I don't know what to do. I've exhausted all of my resources and everything that I think would work, but it doesn't work. So that's it.
So stop planning, stop trying too hard.
Yeah, and it's complete surrender. And also, this affirms this one that I read, because the church gave me this.
What is that?
The church is promoting this surrender novena. Surrender? It's a 9-day novena.
All right.
And then it tells you how to surrender. Like you just give it up to Him. You don't fret. It even says on the last part, Rita, that 1,000 prayers cannot equal one single act of surrender.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Just the
everything,
act of
is being
surrender.
provided to you when, God is, when He puts you in a mess, He prepares you for that too.
But sometimes you don't realize because you said earlier, nothing in life prepares you for a mess. But really,
Yes.
actually, God does. Did you ever experience that na parang naisip mo, ay hindi. The Lord has been preparing me for this. I just do not recognize.
Yeah, I have something to share.
Correct.
Working as in the central bank at that time, but for young people right now, it's easier for
Bangko
them.
Sentral.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that time, in order to get promoted, like somebody has to die or somebody has to retire, somebody has to leave. So
Before
it's
you
a
go
very,
up.
yeah, it's very like, very streamlined. So at that time, I was like feeling frustrated already. I've been working hard and I need the money
All
to
right.
support my family, because at that time I was helping my mom, I was helping my husband whose business was not doing well anymore. So I
Okay.
need the money. I need to be promoted. And then for the longest time, I haven't been promoted. Okay, I have learned to wait out, Rita. Believe me. And then on a daily basis, I would pass by the altar, same place, and pray, Lord, give me the grace to endure the day. Because I was
Kasi
already
parang
so,
napapagod ka na dun sa day because nga you
yeah.
were not being
Because
promoted. You
I
wanted,
don't like already what I'm doing, but I need to be there. To, I need the money, right?
naku, ang
So,
daming ganyan mga bata ngayon. Yung
yeah, naku,
ayaw
they are
agad.
so impatient, right? Even my
Yes.
own daughter, I was teaching her, like, what we went through is, but she was like, it's a different thing, it's a different time.
Mga bata ngayon, ano? Yung hindi na ako
They're
happy.
very impatient. Yeah. And
Hindi
then
na
they
ako.
just leave. They're, yeah, like, they just leave and then, okay, find another one. It's not like
That
that.
will make them happy. So, you think hindi yun ganon? It isn't like that. You patiently waited.
I patiently waited because my institution is a very secured institution.
Oh,
It
yes.
gives me it's very stable, and I need to be in there
You need.
for, yeah, to sustain the my life with my family too.
Right.
So at that time I was very frustrated, and then I kept on praying, and then I finally I got the promotion, but it was taking a long time to come out. We have to go through civil service and all that, and you know how the government works. A lot of channels. So I was like, my friend said, "Oh, are you ready board? Okay, why don't you try to apply to this one?" So
Right.
okay, give me that. So, but my promotion is already there. It's just I was just waiting for the appointment paper. So I applied. I just wrote an email out of nothing, and I just submitted what I should have. I just didn't mind if I learned later that there's a downloadable form for that. So I did
Okay.
not do that. I just submitted whatever I could, and
Oh.
they came back to me.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, the job that they wanted or looking for is what I was currently doing, working on.
That was the happiness that you were looking for.
And not really the happiness, but a sense of
Career-wise.
yeah, sense of fulfillment, because it brought out, I think that brought out the best in me. I know that, oh, I can do more. I'm not limited to doing this, because for me, I'm open. Unlike most people, I like challenges. I like change.
You
I'm
like,
open to change. I like change. I'm getting bored with something that is very routinary. So I
oh,
like to learn more, I started my master's in UST because I think I got a scholarship at the Civil Service Commission, that's for government employees, and my friends were like, "You just go to this school and that. There's no thesis." I was like, "You don't have to work on a thesis." And I
walang
said,
thesis, right?
"Oh." So I was like, "No, why would I waste my time on something that would not be useful to me?"
Oh, that's a
So,
good one. Do not
right?
waste your time on something that will not be useful.
Yeah, because I'm an engineering graduate. We graduated like with with Annalie and Taro at Mapua. So we are
Oh,
both
okay.
management and industrial engineering graduates. So when I went to the bank, I could not fit in uh, right away. because I have to do more economics. And, engineering is very technical, right? More math, but that's not very useful to my current job. Of course, the culture of being very organized was from an engineering aspect.
Back to Life is Messy, Beth. What else did you get from that book that,
Okay, see.
helped you in
Are you
your...
learning too,
Yes.
Rita, from these things?
Ang dami.
So,
you.
because of this one, I have learned to be patient. I'm a very impatient person. Like, I always want results.
Uh-huh.
So with everything I'm learning, with this last ordeal that challenge that I went through, it's like I learned to be patient, and I learned to be more trusting in God. So lastly, because there are a lot, but these ones are the ones that I can relate to. So life can really change in an instant, for better or for worse. It only takes one event to send life into a tailspin. A single event can blindside you and leave you feeling disoriented. Something happens and suddenly nothing makes sense anymore. You're in shock and disbelief. So we expect to unfold in certain ways. We expect our relationships, careers, personal finances to follow, what we have constructed in our minds. Like we expect health, not sickness, long life, not short, prosperity, not poverty, respected, not disrespected.
But then, just one day, one incident, lahat yan.
Yeah, all crumbles. And then that's like I've told you, maybe that's the dead end.
All right.
You felt that everything that you've done, everything that you've worked for, was like you don't know where it's. So I felt that. So maybe if not for my faith, I said, don't. Maybe I am already. I don't know where I would have been.
Okay. So Beth, we have over 240,000 subscribers, and I can imagine that a lot of people who will be watching this might be in their dead end.
Yeah, I think because I got scared, Rita, because I was like, so this is the feeling. This is the feeling of somebody who wanted to commit suicide. So because you have no way out. You did your best. Like you built something and then suddenly it's broken.
And that happens to a lot of people. Final word for the viewers, especially those who are feeling right now they are in their dead end.
So life is still a blessing. Whatever mess you are in, it's still a blessing. And there will always be life after this. You have to hold on to God. You have to trust His promise that He will save you. Okay, so that's it. I think that's what I was doing for the longest time.
Do you feel right now that you are not anymore in a messy situation, or that you have sorted out the mess in your life?
Actually, there's one more thing, Rita. I have also learned from from my experience earlier about my job, that life is like a puzzle.
Awesome.
It's pieces of the challenges forms a big part of where God wants you to be. So if at that time when I thought that I wasn't being promoted, if I had been promoted, I would be very complacent, and I would not have gone into, looking for something better or more productive. So that gave me the chance. So after realizing that, so I think that was that turning point. I realized that, He didn't give it to me because He wants something bigger for me. Yeah. So at that time, okay. So now I have learned to wait, Rita. And like everything that I'm going through, I'm always thinking that He has a purpose for this. He has a plan for this. There was even a situation when I was supposed to give the closing remark for a workshop we were doing. So the whole time I was, so the expert was telling me, okay, I have to be technical to wrap up. I said, why would I wrap up? We have been talking about this for 3 days already, all technical aspects. So what I did was I thought something like everything happens for a reason.
Thank you so much, Beth, for your insights. I'm sure maraming napulot ang ating mga viewers. Remember, my dear viewers, life can be messy, but we have a God who loves us and who has gone before us. This is Rita David reminding you today, haba-habaan po ang pasensya sapagkat ang buhay parang life.